something evil, something diabolical is happening to children worldwide. And we cannot all pretend like ostriches, hiding our heads buried deep in our asses and pretend that this evil is not going on. Because the number, the sheer number of children reported worldwide to be missing is alarming, something that we all have to be aware of, something that we all have to be conscientious of. That there's something happening to children that is diabolical, that is satanic, that is evil, right? According to the International Center for Exploited and Missing Children, they issued a report back in 2020 that 1 million innocent children were missing. 1 million children missing with no traces whatsoever. No traces. Governments of the world, law enforcement, intelligence agencies cannot tell us what is happening to these children. And we're asking, is this just an isolated cases of few psychopaths, few evil people kidnapping children and doing all kinds of evil to these children? This might be the case, but I think there's something deeper, there's something darker, there's something more occult going on to these children being kidnapped. And that is why you cannot find them. The FBI, CIA, KGB, the M16, all these global intelligences cannot tell us what the fuck is going on with these children. And until you know that the history of humanity, that's why you have to understand the occult history of the world. Because if you depend on what they tell you in the mainstream system, you are going to come out ignorant, very ignorant. You are going to be ignorant if you are the one who worship at the church of CNN, to CNN, and then they create this psychological operation and then behavioral program you. You are not going to understand what actually is going on in the world, because these mainstream systems serve their masters. They only exist for the interest of their masters, and their masters are the elite. These people will never tell you the truth. Be rest assured that if you listen to some kind of quote unquote news in the mainstream system, be rest assured that you are under mind conditioning. Truth tellers, they don't work in the mainstream media because the elite will not allow them to speak to the people and tell the people the truth as to what is going on. Throughout the history of man, the elite has always involved in something called child sacrifice. I'm going to say it again. The elite, throughout the known history of man, the occult elite, the secretive elite, those who rule the world, those who control events in the world, have always been engaged in some kind of occult activities that involve sacrificing children. And you know where I am driving to. The reason these children are missing, and as I said, according to the International Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1 million children reported to be missing in 2020. Remember, when they tell you 1 million children are missing, double the number, sometimes triple the number, because what the report is often not accurate statistics, right? So if they say 1 million children missing in 1 year, be rest assured that the number is more than 1 million, right? So what is happening to these children? What is going on? How come all these intelligence agencies around the world with their sophisticated technologies cannot find these children? How come they can't find them? Because they don't want to find them, because they will never find them, because there is an organized international pedophilic movement. There is an organized international Satanist, dark magicians who are kidnapping these children, not just for rape, for sexual, evil, sexual, pedophilic exploitation, but also for ritual sacrifice. I'm going to say that again. Some of you think, oh, this is not civilized, and we, in a civilized society, there's nothing like ritual child sacrifice. It's been going on for ages. If you understand the occult, if you understand the esoteric, you know what I'm talking about. If you do not understand the esoteric, you can go ahead and believe in your mainstream system, believe what the school system is teaching you, and thinking that you're going to find the truth there. There's no truth there. Elite have always been engaged in occult, in invocation of dark energy on this planet. And they offer children throughout history. The occult elite have always offered children to the dark aspect of reality. The dark aspect of reality, the Saturnalian forces, right? The energy of children have been offered as sacrifice to the dark lords. These are fallen angels. These are fallen angels that these elites worship. And that is why when you look at their corporate logos, these companies you like, these conglomerates, look at their corporate logos, right? You see that they are Saturnalian. Some of these logos are occult logos. They are occult symbolism depicting some diabolical things going on the background that you don't know. And that's why you need to pay attention to the occult history of man, to the occult history of the world. Because if you don't get it, you are not going to get anything. If you don't understand the occult aspect of reality, these hidden laws of nature that the elites operate with, if you don't get it, you are not going to get anything. As I said, throughout history, antiquities, biblical time, they have always offered children as sacrifice to maintain rulership, to maintain the dark energy that runs this planet. And that is why these children missing, they were never going to find them. They don't want to find them because those kidnapping them are connected to the top. Those kidnapping the children are connected. In the United States alone, the statistics is that between 500,000 to 800,000 children get missing every year. Come to think about it, the US is one of the most technologically advanced society in the world. The US have dark satellites. They have black satellites all over the place. If they want to see you inside your house, even if you lock the door, even if you like, go on the ground. They are such advanced that if they want to see you inside your house, even if you lock the door, they can still monitor you. They can still see what you're doing inside your house with their dark satellite, their black satellite. All these scientific, technological, dark programs are developing all over the place, right? How come that if a child goes missing from a neighborhood, they cannot go to the dark satellite and review what happens in that neighborhood and they're able to tell us what happened? Because they don't want to, because this evil happening to children are connected to the people on the top, to the Luciferians, to the dark, magical fraternities that run this planet. So you don't want to believe it because you are programmed with the mainstream, right? If you do your research very well, you see that what I'm saying is, but the truth, child sacrifice has been going on for a long time. They are not just raping these children torturing them and offering their energy to the Orions, to the dark Saturn energy, the dark Saturn god, because most of the elites are allegiance to Saturnalianism. As I say, that is why most of the corporate logos, name any corporate logo you see, and I'm going to decode how it's connected to Saturn. Saturn. Saturn is Satan. He is the dark masters of this planet. These are fourth dimensional beings. Most of the elites are allegiance to the fourth dimensional beings. These are dimensions above our dimension, and this dimension is populated by negative service to self. It's the center for service to self. These are center of satanic forces. That is where those who rule the world in terms of political connection, in terms of economic power, in terms of occult power, in terms of magical power, that is why they drive their power to run the world, to rule the world based on this dark energy. And because they have to have the power, they have to offer sacrifice. And children, because children possess the most purest energy, that's why they prefer to kidnap children. They prefer to molest children in this global ring of international pedophilic movement going on, connected to people at the top, connected to the people at the top. And that is why these children that are missing, you can't find them. You can't find them because most of them are sacrificed. I know it doesn't sound civilized, but I'm not here to be civilized. When millions of children are missing, we don't want to have sounds civilized. I have to tell you what is going on, because most of you are blinded to the true events occurring on this planet. Most of you are tapped in what I may call the thought density kind of thinking. Your mind is programmed to follow the mainstream, and anyone who presents any information, any knowledge that does not agree with that cognitive inference you have in your mind, you think it doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to you. That's why you have to pull your head out of your ass and be able to understand the world as it is. The world as it is run based on dark energy, based on dark magical forces. And there are people, both in the civilized world and uncivilized world, who are trading on children on an international basis. It's an underground black market for children. They use for sacrifice, they use for sex. Pedophilic, satanic, evil, diabolical people, fraternities of Satan, fraternities of evil are involved in this global ring of kidnapping children, including what you may call seemingly religious, seemingly altruistic religious programs, orphanages. Some of these orphanages are nothing, including religious or church orphanages, are running international child trafficking, international pedophilic child trafficking for sexual purposes, for ritual purposes. And another one I want to talk about briefly is medical organ harvesting. Medical organ harvesting. This is multi-billion-dollar underground industry in the world where they kidnap people, medically dissect them, and sell their parts to Black international movement, Black market international. That's why most of these children are missing. That's what is going on. Somebody has to be courageous to talk about this evil, because this is evil, this is atrocity against the cosmos. It's evil against nature, it's evil against the prime creator, it is a sin against humanity that got to be talked about. Children need to be protected, children need to be protected by everyone. The reason many people don't care is because it's not their children. Once you hear it on the news, or once you hear that a neighbor somewhere, the neighbor's child is kidnapped and is missing, as long as it doesn't involve you, many people don't really pay that close attention, right? But the reason you have to stand up against evil is that if you ignore evil, it is going to spill over. It's going to, one way or the other in the future, affect your life or those close to you. That's why we have to speak up against this global ring of evil, global satanic forces, fraternities of Lucifer, who are involved in this international crime against humanity, The world power that be uses energy of suffering. If you understand occult, if you understand the fourth dimensional reality, the fourth dimensional being, this fallen angel that mastermind event on this planet, if you understand the fourth density, this fourth dimension is where you cannot see but interfaces with a reality, that these elites are allegiance to beings, to entities in the fourth dimension. And these fourth dimensional beings are what we call the center of Satanism, the center of negative vibration, is the center of the service to self. It's the center of entropic center. It's an entropic center, center of nothingness. That is where the power of Lucifer, where the power of Satan emanates. And those who control the world offer sacrifice. The human sacrifice, the human trauma is offered as a food, as a gift to these gods who dwell in the fourth dimension, right? So when children are missing globally, it's not just one crazy guy somewhere in their garage kidnapping. That might be going on as well, but there are more organized criminal syndicates, right? Kidnapping children and medically harvesting the organs and selling them in the black market. These are multi-billion industry going on the ground. You see, if you read a book written by, it's called Artificial Intelligence, Dangers to Humanity. This book was written by Cyrus A. Parser. He tells you that even the communist Chinese government, it has been harvesting organs from prisoners and from other ethnic minorities that the Chinese government does not sees as threats. They kidnap them, they harvest their organs medically, and they sell them in the international black market, right? It's going on. This is evil. This is evil. We cannot just rest in the face of evil, right? Evil is happening. Children are being kidnapped and offered and sacrificed to Satan, to Befag, to Beelzebub, to Baal, to some of these fallen angels that are fourth dimensional beings by the elites, by the cryptocrats. Somebody has to talk about it. Somebody has to be aware of it. Protect your children, protect your neighborhood, because if your child goes missing, you might not find your child anymore, because the forces that are kidnapping them are way advanced, they possess technology, who in their right mind actually believe that if the government really are interested in finding the children, they cannot find them. As I said, they have technology to watch you even if you go underground. They have technology to see you even if you're inside your house. They can still see you with the black satellite. They can still tag your magnetically and follow you around. So are you telling me that these black satellites cannot review events that took place in a particular neighborhood in a week? Any person can go to Google, what they call Google Map, and put your address. You're going to see your house. You're going to see your address. This part of technology has been democratized. But the government and the elite, they possess more advanced technology that you're not aware of. They can find anyone they want to find if they want to. So how come children are disappearing all over the world, particularly in the developed nations, and no one is finding them? They don't want to find them because the power that be are involved in this ritualistic, torturous, evil abduction of innocent children, not just for sex or pedophilic sex, but also for ritual sacrifice, right? You just have to study your cult. You see, this has been going on forever. It's not new. Because some of you think we're in a modern world. It's no longer happening. Most of the centers we call orphanages is where they actually go to take children for some of these ritualistic sex and murder sacrifices, including some of these church-run center, orphanage centers. They sell children. They sell children. Somebody has to talk about this atrocity. It is evil. We know that even in the past, Vaticans have been even linked to this global ring of pedophilia, where they organize, quote unquote, orphanages, where they, quote unquote, helping children, but is a place for these global internationalist pedophiles. Some of them are priests, some of them are bishops, some of them are pastors, where they go to kidnap children for this satanic, diabolical rape and murder. We have to talk about this. We have to be aware of what is going on. These children are not just disappearing like that. It's an organized, international syndicate, kidnapping children for all kinds of evil, to offer their energy to the dark side of reality, the side of satanic force, the side of evil, of the fallen angel, because that is what these elites at the top are worshiping, fallen angel, Saturnalianism, Orionism. That is what they are allegiance to. That is their God, and human suffering, human sacrifice is how they feed this negative fallen angel. That's what the Bible called the God of this world. But most of you don't believe it because you're a materialist and you listen to the mainstream media and you don't do independent research. I've spent years doing this research. So when I say this kind of thing, I know what I'm talking about. There are a group of Satanists. There are a group of Satan followers who are at the top, politically connected, militarily connected, financially connected, who are involved in this international kidnapping of children for sex, as well as kidnapping them for sacrifice. Or they kill them, they torture them, because the fourth density service to save feeds off of human suffering. If you understand your cult, you know what I'm talking about. The fourth dimensional center of entropy feeds off of the energy of suffering. And that is why, as long as this planet exists, there are people who involve in magical black magic, involve in magical arts, dark magic, that occult rituals in order to generate or to trigger mass human suffering so that the fourth dimensional fallen angels will feed, right? So be aware of what is going on, open your eyes, and you have to elevate your consciousness beyond the three-dimensional cognition. You have to remember that many people around you, their cognition, their awareness of reality is dense. It's the awareness of mainstream humanity. Your friends, your families, your wives, your children, your husbands, your co-workers, your schoolmates, most of these people, their cognition is dense. They don't understand how the world works. They don't understand the esoteric side of the world. They don't understand the occult aspect of reality. Every coin has two sides. The side they taught you in schools and churches is the exoteric, is the plain, is meant for childish people, people who are cognitively underdeveloped. But the elites who control the world, their true knowledge is esoteric. Esoteric has to do with the hidden laws of nature, those who manipulate reality and manipulate your perception, your ocular perceptions, those who manipulate the programs you watch in TVs, the newspapers you read, understood the hidden aspect of nature, the hidden laws of the universe. That is why they are called occultists, black magician. These are the people who run the planet, and you don't get it. You don't get it unless you spend your time investigating these other realities that you have not been taught about or programmed into your consciousness by your parents, by your culture, by your school, by your churches. All these modes of knowledge are nothing but programs, three-dimensional mind conditioning that does not tell you the true nature of things. So, to summarize this episode, the reality I'm trying to the reality I'm trying to describe is that children are being kidnapped on a global level, and these children, most of them are sacrificed for Satan. They are sacrificed, their energy are offered as sacrifice, ritual occult sacrifice to the fallen angels. That is what is going on. Some of them again are being medically organ harvested, right, in the black market and sold all over the world for their precious organs, right? So there's evil going on